Hey everyone, Emma here, also known as 8vinyllow, bringing all of you another video. Today's video is going to be another concert recap video. I know a couple videos back I alluded to the fact I've been attending so many shows and wanting to do these recap and review videos, and I'm a little behind. But I am finally, slowly but surely getting caught up, and I am very excited about this one. Now, this is a show that I have been looking forward to since I think May or June, when this tour was announced, and I got tickets right away. I got tickets to their show in Milwaukee at Shank Hall without hesitation, and for months I have been looking forward to this show. This is a band that I've really gotten into over the last year, and they have undoubtedly, hands down, become one of my favorite bands. I cannot get enough of these guys, and if you're looking at my shirt, if you clicked on the video right, you know that this is about the dB's. Great power pop band that I am just absolutely obsessed with. I love these guys. So back in May or June, like I said, they announced that they were going on this reunion tour with the 4 original members. And so I can't remember the last time that all 4 original members were together for a tour, but it was just an absolute no-brainer for me. I'm a huge Chris Stamey girl. I met him when I went to go see the Big Star Quintet. He plays in that band, and this was over the summer, and so I even mentioned to him at that show, I'm like, I'm gonna see you guys on the fall tour, and he's like, yay. No, he didn't say, I don't know what he said, but this was, I was just so excited for this show, and it finally, October came around, and it was finally time to go see the dB. So 4 original members, you have Peter Holzapfel, Chris Stamey, Will Rigby on drums, and then Gene Holder on bass. It was so great to see them all together. Now, I have been looking at the set lists, I've been looking at videos. Usually it's like one or the other, right? If I'm going and do a tour or a show, I either look at the set list and watch videos so I know what I'm getting into, or I just go in completely blind. I couldn't help it with this tour, with the dB's, this reunion tour. I've been following along with the pictures and the videos and the set lists, which I think just really hyped me up for this show. So again, saw them a couple weeks ago at Shank Hall in Milwaukee, and it was everything that I wanted it to be. Now, supposedly they're going on this tour, this is what they're saying, to celebrate the reissue, remastered release of their debut album from 1981 called Stands for Decibels. And Propeller Sound Music just put out this reissue this summer, again, Stands for Decibels, which is what they were kind of touring off of. Propeller Sound Recordings also just very recently reissued their second album, which is Repercussion, and so I did end up grabbing that pre-order as well. This particular copy that I got was the limited edition kind of colored splattered vinyl. I don't know how many copies this was limited to, but this is now sold out. However, you can still buy, I think the other version, limited edition version, is the black and white vinyl, which is a play off of their song Black and White off of this album, which I think is really cool as well. You can still order that from Propeller Sound Recordings. So if you had never owned this before and you want it, if you're interested in it, if you just want a great sounding upgraded copy, if you have an original or whatever it is, I highly recommend checking it out. I'm going to link them down below. Propeller Sound Recordings, they've been doing an amazing job with these reissues. So this is what they were celebrating on this tour. So the show itself was amazing. Shank Hall is this very small little bar-like venue. It's just kind of the stage and then open area and then a bar in the back, and that is it. So I absolutely adore intimate shows like that, especially for bands that I love this much. So they sounded incredible. After the show, and I'll walk through the set list here shortly, after the show, you guys know how I am with set lists and guitar picks. I asked for a set list, and they did get it to me, and as you can see, I do have it signed by 2 members. I ended up meeting Peter and Will after the show, who were so nice. I actually was able to talk with Peter Holzapfel for a little bit, about 4 or 5 minutes. He shared some really funny stories just about touring and his younger life and things like that. So that conversation meant so much to me. And then Will was working, who plays drums. Will Rigby, he was in the back working the merch booth, and I ended up talking with him a little bit and grabbing this shirt. and a poster, which I'll show here in a second. So real quickly, let me run through the set list. Now, it was very Stands for Decibels heavy, obviously, as that's kind of what they were touring, which I love. I do prefer, I know a lot of people love Repercussion, so do I, but I love Stands for Decibels. That's my favorite dB's. So I was totally okay with that. What I also liked about this set list was it wasn't just those two albums either. They pulled a song or a track from just about every release that they put out, even Like That. I think it's called Like That. A later 80s release that Chris Stamey actually didn't play on, but they played some songs from that. They played songs off of the Amplifier EP. They played Amplifier, which is a great song. They played songs off of their very underrated, overlooked release from 2012 called Falling Off the Sky. They played a couple of songs off of that, which I just thought were amazing. Those were some of my favorite songs of the night. So real quickly, let me run through this set list here. So they open up with The Fight, which is a great song to open. Up with the fight. Okay, then it gets into Cycles Per Second. I want to sing all these songs so bad right now. Oh, the dB's, they're so much fun to sing along and dance to. So then it gets into Cycles Per Second, Big Brown Eyes, Paralyzed. Then again, it goes into Before We Were Born, which is off that Falling Off the Sky album. Then they get into That Time Is Gone, also off of Falling Off the Sky. Then it gets into one of my favorite songs, written by Chris Stamey, which is very Beach Boys-esque, very Brian Wilson, called She's Not Worried. Then it gets Living Lie into Ask for Jill. I love Ask for Jill. That's such a fun song. Then it gets into Lonely Is, then Happenstance, which is one of my a favorite dB's songs of mine. So that was really, really cool to hear live. Love Is for Lovers, In Spain, into I'm in Love, into Neverland. I love Neverland as well. Into Dynamite, Amplifier, and then, of course, they ended with my favorite dB song, Black and White. I love that song so much. And then they came out for an encore, and their encore was like 4 or 5 songs, which usually you get like 1 or 2. I thought that was great that they still played for another 15 minutes, 20 minutes in their encore. They did My Little Red Book. They did pH Factor somewhere in there. They have it written down here, and I remember hearing pH Factor, and I think it was somewhere in the middle of the encore. Happy There, Molly Says, Nothing Is Wrong. So if you want to talk about just an incredible set list, this is it. They nailed it on this, and they sounded amazing. So then, like I said, after the show, I had the opportunity to talk with Peter and Will. I did see Gene. He was signing a couple albums, but he went away very quickly, so I didn't have the chance to talk to him and meet with him. And then I don't know where Chris Stamey went. I know a lot of people were kind of looking for him who had brought albums to get signed, but they couldn't find him. I would have loved to get the set list signed, but again, I did meet him over the summer. I got my Big Star Quintet set list signed, so I'm pretty happy with that. But this was one of the coolest pieces of merchandise. I love when bands do stuff like this, when they actually make their merch and merch booth, one, exciting, right? So having either like limited edition vinyl or having like cool shirts or tour-related things. Well, in this case, they had a tour-related poster that was signed by all the members of the dB's, the reunion tour with the dates at the bottom, signed by all members. you know, and you think going in, and I heard that they were selling these, and I didn't know the price going in, and I'm thinking, well, this has to be like $50, right? That was kind of my guess, just based off of what I know about concert merch. I think this was like $25 or $30. So all things considered, it's in great, I can't wait to frame it. I think it's going to look wonderful in a frame here in the music room. All things considered, that is a great price. The t-shirt was $20. I mean, when do you get like a t-shirt, a tour shirt for $20 anymore? Usually it's at least $30, if not $40 or $50 now. So also kudos for the dB's for running a wonderful merch booth on this tour as well. They nailed it. They nailed, I think, the venues. They had great crowds in all their shows so far from what I've seen. Sold out shows, packed rooms. They sounded incredible. Merch is awesome. Kindest guys in the world. I had an absolute blast. So if you have a story with the dB's, or if you saw them, or if you really enjoy them, or you want to check them out now, write all that down below. I always love interacting with you guys, but that is all I have for this video. I hope that all of you are doing well, and I will see you guys for my next video. Bye, guys.